aren't ghosts. It's All Saints Day. Those are saints. Like the many saints of Newark. You weren't feeling that one, Svenani?
Ooh, this is the ghost of Trey Lance.
Bro, I had no idea where he was going with that call yesterday.
You know what's happening. I mean, we got people asking Shanahan whether or not he's going to make a quarterback change.
Possibly.
Oh, man.
He did not say possibly to that for those that missed it. No.
If I was Kyle, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Kyle's been real snarky at the podium lately. Real snarky.
You get defensive when you start losing. That's natural.
It's a bad trait. It's a bad trait. It's not
it always felt like Harbaugh saw the press conference as a competition.
Right.
And like when someone would ask a question to him, he was almost get fired up. Well,
right.
You know what I mean? Like he was waiting for the onslaught. Like that was his competition.
Wow. Look at
I don't think Kyle sees it the same way.
Look at this young man right here on Zoom. Look at this young man. My light-skinned brother up in Sacramento. Damen Barling, host of DLo and KC, ESPN 1320.
There he is.
It's basketball season. We got Warriors Kings tonight. And look at the backdrop right there. Like KC and DLo, I think they put not only do they have a great radio show, but the backdrops of when they do their Zooms, it's just next level. It's next level. Look at this. Look
Damien,
at the wall there.
How many hours to get ready for this appearance on Zoom? 2, 3?
Nah, a little less than that, but yeah. Now we try to set up a nice little visual, and I'm not at the home studio as much as I used to be. Obviously, I spend all my time at the 1320 studio and the 1025 studio, so I kind of turned this office into a vinyl room, and
Smart.
Started a record collection and put some of my favorites behind me.
And I know you went to go see Janet Jackson last Friday, so you didn't have to watch Steph Curry score his 91st point in the last 8 quarters against you guys, man. So how was Janet Jackson?
So she was amazing. And I'll tell you what happened, because as I was walking in, it was 8 o'clock. The show started at 8. Started just a smidge bit after 8. But, it's always cool when you run into people who listen to the show. Obviously, they're all Kings fans, so they're keeping tap at the time. Where everyone's kind of going to their seat. The Kings are up 10. And it's like, we out there working, 30 miles from here. We out here working. Yeah, no doubt. We'll talk about it when it's over. And so my thing was Janet's here. I'm going to see the Kings on Sunday against the Lakers. I'm going to focus on Janet. I'm going to be present. I got work to do for 1025. Get the videos, do what we got to do, man. We'll have a good time. Avoided texts, tweets, scoreboard check, and all of that until she didn't really break, right? She didn't do any outfit changes, but she would go grab water, towel off. She'd come back, do 30 seconds, 60 seconds. I'm posting something to KSFM's IG page, and I see a James Ham tweet. It all falls apart at the end of the third quarter. And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, that's the worst.
So now I'm thinking about it, right? And now all of a sudden, I'm still not checking the score, doing some more stuff for KSFM. I see the Steph is doing it tweet. Then I see that, De'Aaron Fox is cooking here in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, Fox is back. Kings are within 6.
You're down 1,000.
And now all of a sudden, now Janet is 20 feet from me, and I'm invested in this game 30 miles away. And I'm like, I ain't gotten a tweet or an update in a while, and I didn't know this until later on that night. But the first time I checked the score was on the timeout after Steph hit the 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. For us, it was game 2.
No, you're not. Shut up.
For us, it was game 2.
Go to hell. You're not sorry.
But for you, it was game 7 of the finals. So how did you recover from that loss the other night?
Go to hell, Shaq. How about that? No, it's tough. I'll be honest with you. The preseason loss hurt me. That bugged the hell out of me.
I can't believe that. Why? Because RJ and Fairfield called us.
Bro, if Jonathan Kuminga had done it, right? Or if what's my man, the little dude I like, Pods.
Pajemski, yeah.
Yeah, if he had done it, it'd be like, hey, whatever. Kings played well in this preseason game. That's what we wanted to see up to the point. Starters play well. That's all I care about. But it wasn't Pods. It was Steph. And it was Steph with De'Aaron and Domas on the floor, which was just like, oh, okay. all right, yeah, they're on something with Sacramento right now. And then again, like I think the Kings are better than the Warriors.
Oh.
I don't think the Kings are better than the Warriors when Steph Curry plays, and so it's all a moot point right now.
I mean, I don't think that what. Let me hear that math one more time. Explain that to me again in English.
Steph is phenomenal. He is one of one. I think the Sacramento Kings are better than the Golden State Warriors if Steph Curry doesn't play for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I think the Niners are better than the Chiefs if Mahomes doesn't play. Like, give me a break.
There you go. Like, the math works. It checks out. Like, and you want me to preview tonight's game? I got nothing. I don't know what to tell you. A bunch of guys are going to have to step up tonight with the Aaron out. And Steph should retire.
Damien Barling.
My man is broken spiritually.
Yeah, no. Well, Shask, he's got newfound confidence against the Sacramento Kings. I wish I had the same energy in April. I got to come down my boys' road. He's a different year. He was all doom and gloom last year, playing baseball on the hit with DLo and KC, playing with his club. Couldn't even get him to talk Warriors. Now all of a sudden he's like, we winning championships again after 4 games. I'm glad to have Frisco Shasky back in the building. Damien Barling here on ESPN. 1320. KC was all up in the screen on Friday night with his red sweater and Niner hat, pointing at referees, going
tell
crazy.
Him to pay for tickets before he pretends to be the
I'm not mad at that.
Lee of the Sacramento Kings.
No, they're doing great things because Stacey Kaufman, our regional manager, she's now Sacramento Stacey. They're tagging me in photos where she's wearing her De'Aaron Fox jersey. So they're all feeling the Kings right now. But what'd you think of the Warriors? I want to get your perspective on the Golden State Warriors, DLo, because you guys had me on when Chris Paul got traded here, and I was disheveled. I didn't know what to think. I was like, what? And now 4 games in, I'm like, wow, this actually works. This actually fits.
Yeah.
It makes sense. What's your perspective after watching the Warriors up close and personal in the preseason and last Friday night?
Yeah, and I think I've watched most Warriors games so far. I've been curious. I think the Warriors are good, right? Like, and it's the difficult thing when you're at this stage of the Golden State Warriors. I think they're really good. I think they're potentially 50+ win. You know, they're 2-3 seed, maybe number 1, depending on how this whole thing goes. Like, that's how I see them. What I can't see though is I just don't know if they can win a championship, right? You get into a 7-game series against the Denver Nuggets or one of those elite teams with very little, holes in their roster. Like, what happens when you get into a 7-game series with them? And it's one thing to ask Steph to do it through an 82-game season. It's another when you have a coach who's essentially geared in on Steph for probably 7 straight games. I feel like my assessment of the Warriors isn't hate. It's just, I really don't think that's a championship team anymore. Because what Steph is doing is incredible. Like, he's 35 years old. He's playing 30+ minutes a game. He's averaging 30+ points per game. Like, we all marvel at LeBron James. Like, Steph, a couple years younger, is doing the same exact thing at an incredibly high level. Like, it's amazing. What I can't compute is the team winning a title. And I thought it was kind of lame the way the buck was passed to Jordan Poole last year, and how that was a championship team, but Jordan Poole ruined the vibes. And it's like, all right, if we're being honest with ourselves, I don't think that was a championship team. I'm a huge Chris Paul fan. I'm anxious to see how this works. My hot take, when this all happened, was I don't think it's going to. And I think there's a good chance Chris Paul plays for someone else come February. But that's what scares me, is the Warriors have been marvels with trading contracts. And they're going to do something with Chris Paul on February 5th that turns them into a title contender for the next 4 years and making my life miserable.
Can you walk me through the psychology of other like-minded Kings fans like yourself? I honestly, you guys hate the Warriors. As the Warriors have emerged and turned into this dynasty, right? And that's what they are. They're in the middle of a dynasty right now, whether it's already over or it's still continuing. We can all see this, as long as Steph's here, it's the Steph era, the Steph dynasty. And you guys hate watching us from afar, and then this playoff series happens and we rip your soul out with a Game 7 the way we did, and Harrison Barnes doing what Harrison Barnes does, bricking with the game on the line. Walk me through the psychology of other like-minded Kings fans, because I feel like Kings fans really hate Warrior fans right now, and the Warriors.
Well, I think there's a couple of different things right there. I'll speak for me. I don't hate the Warriors. I Golden State Warriors. I hate when they play Sacramento. That's what I hate. I hate knowing that the Kings could be up 7 with 40 seconds left and it doesn't matter. Like, I hate knowing that. Like, it's like Steph is one of the most incredible and lethal shot makers, I think, in the history of the NBA. So there's multiple things. I do think the Warriors are the Kings' biggest, rival now that the Kings are finally on the come up and the Warriors are still good. Like, the dynamic is different, because the Kings have been bad for so long. You go back to the early 2000s and you try to, that was the last time this team really had a rivalry. It was the Los Angeles Lakers. If you remember, the Kings and the Lakers were rising at the same time. Like, the Kobe Shaq dynasty hadn't started yet.
Yeah.
And so they were on the come up at the exact same time. And for different reasons, the Kings could not get through the Los Angeles Lakers. This feels a little bit different because the Warriors are still very, very good. And as you said, the dynasty is definitely not over because Steph Curry is still playing. The dynasty ends when Steph Curry retires. And it's like it feels like the Kings are on the come up. And in terms of title contention, the Warriors are on the way down. So there's this like cross where the Warriors are not a bad basketball team. They're a high seed in the Western Conference basketball team. But whether you think they're a true title contender is where the conversation comes into play. And so it becomes difficult. Like, I think the thing with the Warriors fans is the fans, y'all act like you have this like Napoleon complex. Everyone acknowledges, you're a dynasty. Steph is one of the greatest to ever play. And there's no conversation about that. Whether you've got him in the top 15, the top 10, whether you got him in the top 5. Steph Curry is one of the greatest basketball players we have ever seen. And, like, that's not enough for Warriors fans. No, Steph is, y'all disrespect Steph. I just said Steph was one of the greatest ever. Like, what do you mean? It's like you guys still think you're the underdog. Like, you're not. Like, Warriors fans still act like they're an underdog that gets disrespected. Like, bro, y'all are a dynasty.
Right.
Ride it. Be cocky with it. Y'all still act like we don't give you enough love. Like, that's the thing that it is with fans. Plus, Shasky, as you know, I'll say it again. The Kings were bad. Basketball fans needed to find something else, whether it was LeBron James or it was the guy 90 miles in a different direction, whether it was Steph Curry. Like, fans had to gravitate towards something else because it was difficult. It was difficult to ride out basketball in January and February and March when you knew it didn't matter.
About your team, you guys were the 3 seed last year, and I thought it was a great NBA story. You guys had a lot of great games. The Clipper game down there at Staples Center was iconic. You guys did a lot of great things last year to replicate last year's success. What needs to happen? Is it Keegan Murray stepping up and becoming that second option? Is it Sabonis building off of that all-star season? Is it Red Velvet, Harrison Barnes? What needs to happen for the Kings to replicate that success from last season?
Well, to replicate the success, I don't think much needs to change, but that's not the idea. The idea is to be better. And the idea of getting better is where you mentioned Keegan Murray. Like, Keegan Murray's probably at the forefront of that. Like, Keegan's at about 16 points per game this year, which was a lot of people were hoping for. But if you pull yourself out of the box score a little bit, if you pull yourself out of the basketball reference page a little bit, you see not only is he 16 points per game, which was up from like 11 or 12, but he's scoring in a very different way than he did last year. He's creating shots in a way that he didn't last year. That's really important to the Kings' future. And, to be honest, that's really important tonight because there's going to be shots available tonight with De'Aaron Fox out of the lineup and Davion stepping in. Like, Davion's not just going to take over De'Aaron's offensive role. Like, it's going to have to be Keegan Murray that kind of like saddles up as Domas's kind of like, 2 in the 1-2 punch right there. So it needs to be a really big night from Davion and Keegan tonight. But I'll echo Mike Brown's sentiments. To get better than they did last year at 48 wins, they've got to be better defensively. And we've already seen, some signs of that during the season. We're seeing De'Aaron has really taken he wants to be one of the better two-way players in the game, and you can see it so far this year, averaging 31.3 points on the offensive end. But seeing how active he is on the defensive end has been a big deal for them. That's the step. Like Mike Brown said this preseason or just before the season started, we will not be the 24th or 25th ranked defense. That is unacceptable. We will not do that. And, Domas has got to be better on the defensive end. De'Aaron's got to be better on the defensive end. And when that happens, I think the rest of the team follows suit.
Damen Barling, ESPN 1320. Also plug the you guys are doing everything up there in Sacramento. You guys got hip-hop locked up. You got sports locked up. You guys are doing it all up there in Sacramento.
Man, we're trying, man. We love the sports show, but we had the opportunity to expand and do a hip-hop afternoon drive show, and that's been it's challenging for sure, man, but it's a lot of fun. Like, we enjoy it.
Hey, man, when you make the big bucks, man, it's always a challenge, right? You get to see Janet Jackson. You get to look at your phone, watch the game back over.
Hey.
You got Usher and Mike Jack on the back wall, Outkast. I mean, come on, man. Black Bottle Boys, man. DLo and KC.
I was trying to get into that Bonte Hill tax bracket, man. That's all it is.
Shasky's the one with two houses. Shasky's got two houses.
I just paid property tax. Don't talk to me. Right
yeah,
now.
this guy's the baller of the show.
Literally the
not me. Not
Hey,
me.
can I say one thing about Steph real quick? Because I was doing some research. This was actually for the 102.5 show, and I'm sure you guys saw this, that Steph is partnered with the Black and Fashion Council.
Yeah.
And his walk-in outfits are by Black designers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the dopest things Steph has ever done. It is really difficult to find nice clothing designed by Black designers. And for Steph to use that league fits moment, to use that TNT walk-in as much as the Golden State Warriors are on primetime, to highlight Black designers, I think is phenomenal. I'm a huge, huge fan of Steph Curry. I just wish he would retire from basketball.
Well, you get to see him tonight.
Or retire from the King, playing the Kings, one or the other. We even made a deal. We'll put 30 up in the rafters of the Golden One Center if he retires today. We'll hang it up there proud, and no one will ever wear 30 in Sacramento.
You never know. He may get low managed tonight without De'Aaron Fox out there.
Come on, man. Let's do it. Come on, Steve. We don't need him. We don't need him playing 82 games.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good for television ratings. We need Steph out there. DLo, man.
True.
Kind, man. Good stuff as always, DLo, man. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, fellas.
See you, buddy.
Damen Barling, man. One of the good guys up there in Sacramento. DLo, KC, of course, ESPN 1320, 12 to 4.